Riders are making their way back out onto the circuit now for the first of 3 8-lap encounters in the 7 Friday Pro Twins category. And Phil Harlem, this one is certainly going to be exciting to say the least.
It is, and we've seen plenty of action in this class over the year. We saw Michael McMillan take a good championship lead. Wasn't at the last round because of that nasty injury, but he makes his return here at Queensland Raceway in front of his home crowd. And isn't there a big crowd out here to see it? Obviously some fans of the sport with their souvenir shirts as well, Lance, and they'll be looking forward to some great racing today from the Pro Twins and Naked Bikes.
The way they line up for race number 1 is Michael McMillan in pole, Heath Griffin alongside of him with Matt Edwards and Michael O'Keefe joining them on the front row. At the rear of the grid we have 2 of the electric bikes, Tyrone Van Vuren and Brad Swallow. They'll only race half the distance of the normally aspirated bikes at the front of the grid.
Yeah, but watch the electric bike number 21 with Tyrone Van Vuren, the West Australian, a very experienced Supersport rider, blast off the grid. Maybe bit of movement there as they blast away. Here it comes, Lance. Bike number 21 blasting through the field and from the rear of the grid into the lead by the first corner. Wow.
Unbelievable power from that Voltron. Look at him get it all squirrely under power. Bo Beaton's up into second place already as they stream through turn number 2, and that is of course the Dunlop Road Smart 3 turn number 2 for the run down the back straight. The iPone Oils back straight into Sydney Motorsport Park Ride Days turn 3. Look at Bo Beaton, he's on fire already.
Yeah, and as you can see on board the Panigale, Lance, there was some overheating and detonation issues with the Vincent yesterday due to the extremely warm weather we're experiencing here at Queensland Raceway, so the team opted to keep the championship alive going into the last round, and he's on the spare bike, not the bike he's racing in the Superbike class, but very, very similar. And Michael McMillan, the local man, may have his hands full, unlike yesterday where he took a clean sweep.
Well, in terms of hands being full, his left hand that was broken so badly is certainly going to feel the pressure through that section of the circuit. The hip pocket workwear and safety turns 4 and 5, the 2 left-handers in the middle of the circuit. Van Vuren getting a little bit squirrely under brakes there has allowed a couple of the riders, his number 21 namesake being one of them, Ryan Yanko on the yellow machine at the left-hand side, got a little bit balked there by everything, but have a go at the way that Voltron, the electric bike, gets the power down to the ground on the Swan Insurance main straight.
Yeah, and considering this is the first time that Tyrone Van Vuren has been racing this bike, he's been doing an exceptional job as we watch the start now. And watch him from the back of the grid, front wheel straight into the air, and he just slides his way through the entire field to be in the lead before they go through turn 1 for the first time, and not the first time we've seen that bike wheeling its way halfway down the straight.
Look at everybody trying to chase him down into turn number 1. McMillan there on 14 on the outside being one of those, and we've got a replay on board with him at the moment, and he had to actually back off momentarily, but he did get the run up the inside, as you can see here as we're on board the Racers Edge Performance Ducati of Bo Beaton's now. You can see the way McMillan threaded the needle quite comfortably up the inside, and then he had the favour returned by Bo Beaton at the end of the iPone Oils back straight.
Well, one of the big advantages of the Panigale is its corner entry speed, and you can see a graphic demonstration of it there from Bo Beaton with the foot out style. He is unbelievable on the corner entry, and even in the Superbike class, Lance, that's where he's been making up a lot of his time. Corner entry and corner speed really are the Panigale's forte, but in this field at the moment, Bo Beaton is in a class of 1. He's got a sizable lead over Michael McMillan, who's doing a great job. And yeah, they may be calling him the clock this weekend because he's got one hand bigger than the other, but he is doing a great job on board that Aprilia RSV4, which is not an easy bike to ride around here because it requires a fair amount of manhandling.
Rather an appropriate analogy in the 7 Friday Pro Twins and Naked Bikes class as Bo Beaton pilots this beautiful bike down the iPhone Oils back straight. And he has a rather surmountable lead at the moment. Unsurmountable lead is what I'm trying to say over this man, Michael McMillan. You can see that he's almost upright as Michael McMillan and jerking his body rather than smoothly riding it from one section to the other or swaying from left to right.
Yeah, very Michael McMillan style. His backside very rarely ever leaves the seat. Almost looks like he's riding down the shops to get a carton of milk, but looking pretty comfortable considering those injuries. And I saw his hand at the end of yesterday's racing, Lance, and let's just say that one hand was definitely a fair bit bigger than the other, and this circuit around those left-handers, as you say. Bike number 82 there, Ryan Yanko, great to see him having a trouble-free day so far, because yesterday he was plagued with dramas on both his motorcycles, and the corner speed of bike number 82, the old-style Ducati, the 996, was unbelievable.
Look at young Dan Thomas there, larger than life on that little FZ6 Yamaha that's only been ridden on weekends. Bo Beaton on the Racers Edge Performance, Craig McMartin Racing, KH Equipment, Ducati 1199.
Yeah, and we were saying before about how Michael McMillan's doing a great job. What about the job that his mechanic Paul Rowe, a former star in this class, has done to build that bike back up so that it's actually able to race here this weekend? As Bo Beaton streaks his way into the distance on board the fire-breathing Races Edge Performance bike, the bike built by Craig McMartin and run here by North Coast V Twins and Races Edge Performance. And Bo is getting extra track time and extra opportunity to set the motorcycle up for some great performances in the Superbike class as well.
Up the Kawasaki Motor Insurance back straight or internal straight into the hip pocket workwear and safety turns 4 and 5. You can hear in the background the way that Ducati, he just rolls off the throttle momentarily. He maintains as much corner speed as he can to get the run down the Kawasaki motorcycles internal straight into our final turn in this 6-corner layout, the Shark Leathers turn, for the run down the Swan Insurance main straight to greet the checkered flag rather comfortably ahead of Michael McMillan and celebrates in style.
Yeah, great ride there from Bo Beaton, great ride from Michael McMillan as well as we jump on board with him for his final run down the straight. And I tell you what, did you hear the sigh of relief, Lance, that the checkered flag is out and he can finally rest that hand?
Well, in third place coming across the line after having a battle with Heath Griffin was Ryan Yanko, and in fifth place is Michael O'Keefe, Matt Edwards, Dan Thomas, the first of the Formula 2s ahead of Ian Godwin, Richard Draper, Bradley Lasser and Tyrone Van Vuren takes out the electric bikes.
I know the Races Edge Performance 1199 Ducati's got plenty of stick, unlike the down the straight we can match the other bikes, so Craig McMartin builds a great bike, and I'm fortunate enough to be able to have that as a backup after the Irving Vincent experience.